dark, something waits, something unseen. Welcome to Dark Unseen. We're diving into a case that's hard to believe. A 75-year-old grandmother, a quiet house in suburban Michigan, and a teenage boy who thought he was safe there. But that house would be his final destination. In the summer of 2012, Jonathan Hoffman, a 17-year-old boy, moved in with his grandparents in West Bloomfield, Michigan. His family thought living with his kind, caring grandmother, Sandra Lane, would help keep him out of trouble, away from drugs and the wrong influences. But something inside that house was very wrong. Sandra was an elderly woman, white hair, a gentle smile, and a strict, no-nonsense attitude. Neighbors saw her as a kind, religious woman, but firm. Jonathan, on the other hand, was a restless teen with a rebellious streak and a growing history of trouble, both at school and with the law. By May 2012, the tension had reached a boiling point. Jonathan was using drugs. Sandra had called the police before. She was overwhelmed. And on May 18th, things exploded. They got into a fight, not their first. But this time, Sandra walked into her bedroom, grabbed her handgun, and fired. Not one shot, not two. 10 bullets, 6 of them hit Jonathan. As he lay bleeding, terrified, he managed to call 911. On the recording, you can hear him scream, "My grandma shot me. She's shooting again." Police arrived. They found Jonathan's body in the hallway. Sandra was standing nearby, gun still in her hand. When asked why she did it, all she said was, "I couldn't take it anymore." Inside the courtroom, emotions were running high. As Judge Dennis Morris read the sentence, 22 years in prison, Sandra burst into tears and begged, "I don't want to die in prison." But across the room, her daughter, Jennifer Hoffman, the mother of the victim, stared her mother down with cold fury. She looked Sandra dead in the eyes, smirked, and gave her a thumbs up. That wasn't a gesture of support. That was a silent message. You got what you deserved. After the hearing, Jennifer told the media, "She is pure evil, a monster. She killed my only son." She was sentenced to 22 years in prison, 20 years for murder plus 2 years for using a firearm. And today, Sandra Lane remains behind bars, a grandmother who wanted to save her grandson but ended up taking his life. Another case is one of those that's hard to believe. A 63-year-old grandmother, a quiet home in California, and a son-in-law who thought he was safe there. But that house would become the last place he ever saw. On the morning of February 11th, 2014, in Fallbrook, California, Cynthia Sidabaka, a 63-year-old grandmother, got into a heated argument with her son-in-law, Geward Eustachio, 53. Geward reportedly told her that her outfit was inappropriate and demanded she change. That one comment pushed Cynthia over the edge. She stormed into her room, grabbed a .38 caliber revolver, walked back out, and opened fire. She shot him 5 times, then calmly reloaded, and fired 5 more. Geward, wounded and desperate, crawled back into the house, but Cynthia wasn't finished. She reloaded again, walked up to him, and fired 5 more shots. In total, she fired 15 bullets, 12 of which hit her son-in-law. After the shooting, Cynthia didn't panic. She went to a diner and had breakfast. Then she visited a casino and gambled for a while. Finally, she stopped by her favorite coffee shop, where police caught up with her and made the arrest. In court, Cynthia claimed that Geward had been abusive toward her daughter and grandchildren, and she said she killed him to protect her family.
I love you.
He said that to you?
Yeah.
After you shot him, he said, "Grandma, I love you"?
Yeah. God damn.
Did you check to see if he was doing it?
I didn't care. He did.
He's dead now.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh boy, oh boy.
The video showed each member of Chidabaka's family hugging her and saying goodbye before she was taken to jail.
Oh God, oh, I wanted to.
In one poignant scene, when Chidabaka wanted to hug her youngest granddaughter, the girl refused.
Oh, honey. Good kiss me. No, you kissed my dad.
Her defense attorney asked for a lesser charge, manslaughter. But the jury saw something else. They saw premeditation. They saw no remorse. They found her guilty of first-degree murder. And on March 22, 2017, the judge sentenced Cynthia Chidabaka to 50 years to life in prison. At her age, that means she will likely die behind bars. Today, Cynthia serves her sentence at the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, California. A grandmother who pulled the trigger 15 times and never looked back. So picture this, a quiet little town in California, a cozy cabin nestled in the woods, and a sweet old lady who bakes pies and, oh yeah, blows her husband's head off with a shotgun. Yeah, we're not in a Hallmark movie anymore. It's January 6th, 2013, and 70-year-old Colleen Harris is not having a good evening. Her husband, Bob Harris, has just told her he wants a divorce. Not just that, he's planning to move back to his Lake Tahoe home, alone. Well, that conversation didn't end with a handshake. Instead, Bob ended up in bed, permanently. Colleen walked into the bedroom, grabbed a 12-gauge shotgun, and, well, fired straight into his face while he slept. Then she calmly called the police and reported that her husband had passed away. But when investigators arrived, something didn't smell right, and it wasn't the apple pie in the oven. They noticed her story didn't add up. Bob hadn't died in his sleep. He had been murdered, executed, at close range. Oh, and it gets darker. Turns out this wasn't her first rodeo. Back in 1985, Colleen's second husband also died under suspicious circumstances. The case had been ruled accidental, until now. Suddenly, the dots began to connect. In court, Colleen claimed she didn't remember anything. She said she was in a gray fog and couldn't recall pulling the trigger. But the prosecution had texts, angry ones. She'd messaged her daughter just hours before, saying Bob was cheating and deserved what he got. After a dramatic 5-week trial, the jury wasn't buying the fog story. On April 14, 2015, Colleen Harris was convicted of first-degree murder. On June 5th, she was sentenced to 50 years to life.
If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more.